All right, today we got Nathan Bobay with us. He's joining us from Delta Faucets, and he's going to tell us a little bit about their experience in customer service and support. One thing I heard, you guys won an award not too long ago, right?
Yeah, back-to-back JD Power Customer
Back to
Service
back.
Excellence Program certification. Yeah.
So who did you have to bribe for that?
First you got to get the budget approved to contract. But that's a great question. Who do you have to bribe? That's
No,
funny.
but that's-
kind of throws
that's
me
good.
off. Yeah. No, get approval, and then really nobody, because everybody knows JD Power.
That's true.
Everybody knows.
You can't mess with it.
Yeah, the executive team set a goal years ago and said we want to be an industry leader in service, and we said, cool, what does that mean? How about we go win trophies? And got connected to JD Power because we thought that was the best one in the business and people would know it, and we went after it, and we won.
So 2 years back to back.
Back to back,
That's awesome.
Yep.
And what do you think was one of the pivotal things that you guys did that was able to help you achieve that?
First and foremost, you have to have that stake in the ground. So that executive level support to say we want to be an industry leader in service. That's a big key. It's a big key when you have executive level support. Okay. So once that stake is in the ground, then it's all the processes and policies and the engagement in service. Everything from your systems to the people, the employee engagement, the workforce management, the quality assurance, et cetera, et cetera.
So this is in no way an overnight type of thing. This is a lot of different steps, a lot of different processes, and building on itself in order to get to a point where it's sustainable.
Yeah,
right?
I'd say Delta's been on a journey, like a lot of companies have been, on improving customer service, just kind of getting your arms wrapped around it. And so it had been put in place for several years. And honestly, we didn't think we would win the first time. Really? So in a way, we surprised ourselves. That's great, though, because the thing about the JD Power Award is that it's consumer validated. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they survey your consumers, and so they're basically, so we were in a way surprised. It was really a continuous improvement exercise. It's very much the culture of Delta, and so once we got it, it was a little bit of a surprise. Then it's also like, okay, let's go take that feedback and apply it in a continuous improvement effort, and then we scored better and we're able to win it again and kind of know what the expectation is, and it's very structured, and so it sort of validated all the structure that we put in place, sort of getting the arms around that journey we've been on.
That's admirable. And if there was a company that was like, hey, we want to kind of follow suit and learn from, instead of learning from our own mistakes, maybe take some of the findings from Delta, what do you think would be the first steps they should implement in order to start moving in that trajectory?
I would say audit yourselves. Like go and what do you think is best in class, sort of best practice scorecard in a way, and then go audit yourself against it. If you know your business, you're going to know where the holes are at.
That's true.
You can bring in outsiders, you can bring in consultants, you can bring in business partners. You could ask other people come visit and take a look, get another set of eyes. But if you're that close to it, you probably know and can audit yourselves.
That makes sense. So being close to it, paying attention to what's happening.
And let the data drive it too, okay? It shouldn't just be a feeling. Like, look at your numbers. Start with like a root cause countermeasure sort of problem statement, and then from there we'll drill into the whys. Why is this happening? And then action items, prioritize them, get after it.
And stay on top of it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So what would you say because you mentioned several different components there that you guys focused on, what was one of the biggest challenges to turn around or to get going in the direction you wanted it to go?
I think we were in the same boat as a lot of companies with staffing challenges that have been happening over the past few years. So I think it was having the right amount of staff in the right places, as well as just the employee engagement along the way. So I think that was the first thing that comes to mind.
That makes sense. And then when it comes to like your competitors in the space, how big of an impact do you think that takes into effect with your guys' support? Like, because I know for example, I guess I'll give an example. Yeah. On the airlines, lots of times if you're an airline, your level of professionalism, I don't want to say it in a bad way, but maybe doesn't have to be as high. Sure. And a type of product like Delta Faucets, you can't really make small mistakes will be very impactful to the business. So how do you think the competitors impact your guys' performance? Like, do you look at them a lot?
Yeah, they all do. Everybody's looking at it. The interesting thing about your question, I would say, is, well, first of all, it's a differentiator for us against the competition.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this should help us set ourselves apart from the competition. We're in a space where everybody's making very similar products for the most part. You bring up the airlines,
Sure.
and I would say, and we're here at the customer service conference, this is all the same customers, this is all the same consumers. So actually the airline consumer is our consumer, and then they're going to compare, service at the same level. So you can it can be an advantage or disadvantage depending on how they rate you. And I think that comes into play with the consumer survey. It's maybe you're answering the calls at what you think is a slow rate. If the industry though is struggling, then you look better. You still though keep working to get better to where you want your goals to be, and in a way, set that high standard, I think.
Yeah, I like that. And you're setting your own targets that you're holding yourself accountable to,
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily saying, are we better than the competitors? It's like, what do we want to achieve? And it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing.
Yeah, look, this is like SOCAP understands this. The people that are here at SOCAP, like, let's help push the industry up, the customer service industry up. It's a rising tide. It should lift all boats. So as soon as, and this has been happening for years, as soon as online retailer ships fast, every other retailer has to ship fast too. That then bleeds into the manufacturers who got to ship fast. So we actually you should be thankful for it. So as soon as whoever's doing great at employee engagement, we want to hear them do keynotes and share that data, write the white papers. Plumbing products, fine. Let's set the bar for customer service and have people ask us how we did it and want to follow along, because we're all doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's fast food or plumbing or retail or airlines, coffee chains. Like
Yeah.
if you're doing it great, you want to follow it.
Yeah. It's exactly right, because it is the same consumer. Sometimes they set their expectation low on certain products, but at the end of the day, if the expectation could be higher and everybody lives it, it's a really good idea.
If you get, sorry to interrupt.
No,
you get. I get tired of the, wow, I was so surprised by that service. You're like, it's almost like a little bit of a knife in the side, like, and they mean it. The consumer means it sincerely.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that the whole industry could be doing better, or why isn't this the standard to give great service? Instead, it's almost like a surprise when people get it. That's our challenge here at SOCAP and anybody in the customer service industry, in my opinion.
Which is a great problem to solve. So how do you kind of push, on the executive team, you're going to be setting up goals and what you guys want to strive for. How do you get that same passion to the entry-level individuals that are talking to the clients directly?
How do you communicate it?
How
from
can
the top
you have
all the way down?
All the way down, because that can be, I know that can be a big challenge for a lot of different companies, and you guys have successfully executed based off the results. And I know it's always a work in progress, but so far you're in the right trajectory. How have you been? I don't know if you've had certain techniques or strategies that you've been able to implement to make that happen, or what thoughts do you have on that?
First of all, it's a communication strategy.
Okay.
It's also a what's in it for them. You're basically speaking to an audience. So again, you got a couple minutes. You got to get their attention. So what's going to get the attention of the executives? Metrics, KPIs, financials, and yes, they like to hear the positive stories as well. Down to the agent level, same thing. Like, what's in it for me? Career growth, job opportunity, paycheck, recognition, et cetera, et cetera.
That's good. That makes a lot of sense. So it has to be the vision is tied in not only through the communication, which is a big part of it, but also you're measuring the results, and it kind of sounded like you had certain compensation items tied to it as well to help move everything in the same direction.
Sure. Say it, model behavior, and then reinforce that behavior. That's the methodology, and you have to continuously communicate it over and over and over again, because some people will not get it right away, and that's okay. Okay, it's on you. That's the challenge. Is some messages have to be heard over and over again, and eventually,
That's true.
When it's supported with the data, though, that can really drive it. Mm-hmm. It's a customer service industry. Everybody's a customer. Everybody's a consumer. They get it. You're not explaining some financial model, some sort of engineering thing, marketing tactic. Everybody's a customer. What does good look like? What does bad look like? They know this stuff.
That's true.
Okay, so you can hit them with the emotional stories right away. Sometimes you can do the flip side. You can listen to the call, and it'll get people fired up, because that's way more impactful than seeing the numbers. The numbers you get numb to. You get numb to data on charts and on PowerPoints and stuff.
It's not that fun.
When that data, though, backs up that emotional situation, and if it's your company, you're like, we're better than that. Mm-hmm. And if there's a high standard there, people want to take care of that. They want to go after that. That's the outside-in focus, the customer focus back inside of the company.
Perfect. So now that we've made so much progress and movement over the last couple of years, what's the next phase?
Great question. I would say this is my answer. This is not a Delta Faucet company.
Right.
This is the Nathan Bobay answer. Is let's get Delta at the top of the consideration set for the consumer, so that when they're ready to buy plumbing products, we're at the top, or we're the only one, because they know we have great products, because we know we have great service, and they know we have a great culture. Same thing for talent acquisition, for recruiting people. It's a great place to work. Okay, and across, not just across the plumbing products industry, let's go all industry, like we said earlier, because we're being compared. We're being compared against airlines and fast food and retail, on and on and on. Let's get in the conversation set with those other companies. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think that's really good. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on Delta and how it's progressed and where you guys are at. And we look forward to continual success. You guys are doing an amazing job. So thanks for being a benchmark that a lot of companies can look up to. So thank you to Nathan, and we appreciate having you here today.
Thanks for having me.